What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Jesse back here with update number 2 on Project Supra. Yeah, this is just a quick update on this week's progress. Not a lot of progress this week. Ran into some old car issues yet again. That's kind of how that works when you're working on some of these things. Did make some progress, but we'll get into that here in just a second. Basically, this week was a little bit more teardown. Got my new seat covers in for the interior restoration, and so I started pulling the seats out. As you know from the last video, had one seat out already, went to go pull the driver's side seat and ran into my first old car issue. Basically, what happened was I've got the battery pulled, and the driver's side seat is an electric seat, so obviously you can't move it. Well, there's 2 manual adjustment all-thread knobs underneath the seat that you can spin to move the seat forward and backwards manually. But the Toyota in particular has a really crummy design on this, and ultimately, because it's an old car, I'm running into old car issues, and so the nut on that all-thread just spins right off, because to bring the seat forward, you have to go counterclockwise, which is how you loosen it. So did some research on it, trying to figure out how we can fix that. Not a lot of ways to fix it. The best suggestion I saw on any thread was to use some red Loctite on it, because red Loctite, in order to remove it, generally requires heat. Not always, and these are small, so won't take a lot of torque, but we don't need it to be, we don't need to apply a lot of torque to move the seat, because there's a plastic worm gear inside there. And so we just need to be able to spin that worm gear in order to work the seat forward. So we'll get the driver's side seat. We'll start looking at it. I set that up the other day. It's been kind of cool, so I want to give it some extra time to dry up. That being said, some of the updates that we did get to, I'll go ahead and point to here. So one, we had an evap line, factory evap line that came into this hardline setup here. And that goes back to the fuel tank, the evap line does. And so basically that's where we got to work in this week. So most of the factory fuel system is now out of the car, and it's a little dark, so I apologize. You're not gonna be able to see everything here. But there's still a fuel pulsation dampener down here to be pulled. That goes back to the fuel filter down underneath the car. We're not gonna get under the car tonight and show that to you. But basically I got all of the factory fuel lines out. Got some video of that you'll see that too. I was able to basically get everything done back here from the fuel pump side. So it's wired now and ready to go. So essentially we put the relays in back here. And then we ran the fuel pump wires for the new fuel pumps. They're up under the cover here now. I've got some video of that as well. We also adapted the fuel sending unit from the Toyota fuel sending unit from the OE wire harness here, so that it comes into here, goes down and through. We connected all that with Deutz connectors underneath this connection, so that we have quick releases. And that pretty much wrapped everything up. So everything now is wired up and done with pinouts and quick release connects, so it has a very OE look. So that really will help us overall and just maintenance if we ever need to do anything there. I've got my trigger wire set up here for the ECU. Once we get the harness back from FirmWorks, then we'll be able to start setting up the ECU. The next steps for the Supra are probably going to be putting the rear battery setup in. So what we'll do is we'll mount a battery box back here. You can see this giant power cable. This is an 8-gauge power cable. We're going to run that to the front, and that will we're going to run it under the car. And I'll talk a little bit about that here in just a second, because we ran into a small hiccup. But it'll come in here on this fuse box. So we're going to pull this fuse box this week and get this fuse box prepped for that wire run, because it'll come right up and past the steering column. We'll secure it in there, and then hook it right up to the fuse box. The issue we ran into this week has to do more with not fully understanding my plan when I ordered stuff, and that's on me. It's not on anybody else. So I've got these really cool fuel hangers that Powerhouse Racing sent me. Let me pull one out here. You can see them here. Shout out to Powerhouse here, but these are designed so the left side over here holds the brake lines that go to the back of the car, and then we've got the big feed line and the return line. But what I really wanted or needed to order instead was this version with one extra for like a dual feed, because then I can run the aught gauge wire here. There's only 4 of these that come, and those 4 go right under the main part of the car. So I want to get a 5th one from Powerhouse as well if I can. That'll help me just get a really nice secure line run on the fuel lines and on the power line for the battery relocation. Once we get that all said and done, we're pretty much done in the trunk until we get the ECU harness in. Then I'm going to move up front and get to work on a few other things. We got the high amp alternator we talked about to put in. I've got a new serpentine belt to go on the car. We've got all the upper water neck stuff still to do, as well as all the radiator hose lines and stuff. And then we got to get the new fan shroud on, which I've got sitting here now as well. So lots of progress still to go, lots of room still to go here, but we are making some progress on the build. It is coming together, and just waiting on that ECU harness, because once we get that, I think we can really take off and go to the races here. So yeah, that's going to do it. If this is something you're interested in, you want to follow along with this build, I hope you like the video. It does help the YouTubes, and then obviously subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date and follow me along in this project, and then obviously enjoying the car after we get the project done. Thanks so much. Appreciate you all. Take care. This has been The Art of Speed. I'm Jesse. See ya.